Hello and thank you for joining me. I am here with our ANAHATA flow, so our heart chakra flow. For those that have been following along with the chakra videos, this is the next installment. I'm focusing on our heart center. For those that haven't seen the previous videos and have just come for kind of a heart opening, a chest opening practice, welcome. If you'd like to go and check out those other videos, they are all up on my channel. But today the focus is on this center of love and compassion and empathy and acceptance. And what I want to consider is, or I want to invite you to consider, is the love that we give out to others and the love that we have for ourselves. So often we're so giving and understanding and empathetic to other people, and we don't always necessarily give that to ourselves. So the focus of today's flow and today's meditation is drawing that love, that acceptance back in, and accepting it to ourselves. So you can cultivate all the love you want, but if you're not going to accept it, so without further ado, we're going to come into our practice and we're going to start laying down. So for anyone that's been to my live classes, I know that there will be a big sigh of happiness at coming down to start with. So allowing the feet to come as wide as the mat, shift the bottom down and just slowly lower your back onto the mat. Find length through your spine and then drop the head heavy. Maybe tuck your chin in towards your chest and allow the knees to drop in. Curling under through the tailbone just so that your low back comes to the earth and your whole body can relax here. Maybe you walk the shoulders underneath you. And take a deep breath in and exhale. Release out. Inhale in and exhale, release. Arrive on your mat and just allow your body to settle and relax here. Release anything that has come up today and just be present on your mat. Allow your breath to deepen and soften. And closing down the eyes whenever you're ready. And I invite you to bring your left hand onto your heart space and your right hand to the belly. So we're just feeling into the physical movement of our breath as it rises through the chest and belly. And exhale as it softens. So our heart chakra is associated with the element of air. So throughout the practice today, I invite you to focus on your breath and engage that ujjayi breathing if that's something you have within your practice. We're going to be taking nice, long, deep breaths into the chest. So just to start to cultivate that and to start to expand our capacity here, we're going to work through a breathing exercise. So you're inhaling to my count and exhale to my count, and they're going to lengthen each time. So we'll start to the count of 3 and then we'll go up to 4 and then up again to 5. So if at any point it's too much for you, just lessen the count. So we'll take a deep breath in all together through the nose. Exhale, sigh and release out. And then we'll inhale for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale 3, 2, 1, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, inhale in and exhale, deep sigh, release out. Just allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm here. And just feel into any space being created through the chest. Notice how the natural breath comes now. Does it come easier? Does it feel more spacious in your chest? Have you created a little bit more room for love and to allow that in? And when you focus on this idea of accepting love in, just notice any blocks or any limitations or any thoughts, anything that comes up for you. Feel them and allow them. Know that you are worthy of love. You can allow love in. You can create space for new love. We're working with the affirmation today. I accept love and I give love. I accept love and I give love. I accept love and I give love. Notice what resonates for you with this affirmation as you focus in on the body, in at the heart center, in your center of love. Slowly drawing the hands off of the belly and chest, bringing them back down at the side. Draw your one knee in towards your center and the other knee in towards the center. Wrap the arms around the legs and give yourself a nice big hug. You can bring your nose in towards your knees, lifting the head and neck and chest off of the mat. And just rock yourself from side to side and giving yourself a nice big hug. Slowly start to come back into the room. open the eyes and just lift the gaze softly. And bringing the hands off of the belly and off of the chest. I'm going to draw one knee in and then draw the other knee in. Squeeze the knees in and up towards the chest. And start to engage through your low belly here, so your navel draws down towards your spine and the hips lift slightly as you press the low back into the earth. Wrap the arms around the legs, maybe lifting head and neck off of the mat and giving yourself a nice big hug. Rocking from side to side, just a nice soft massage through the back. Those of you that have been doing flows with me for a while will know that I'm a big fan, especially now, of a self hug. So really squeeze everything in and up, find that arching through the back. And then releasing the back down to the mat. I'm going to bring your hands underneath the backs of the thighs. And we're going to start to take a roll up. So if you know this doesn't work for you through your back, we're going to meet in a wide legged child's pose, so you can always just make your way there. But for those that want to roll with me, bring your attention back to that navel. And we're going to keep, as we roll, we're going to keep our gaze down at our belly button. So we're drawing our belly button in, very much so that our back starts to arch slightly, so the shoulders are coming off of the mat and we're feeling the hips lift. So we're really tight through our core. Knees and legs are firmly squeezed together, hands on the backs of the thighs, and then you're just going to find some momentum to roll yourself up, maybe come into a balance, and then shift your center of gravity so you roll back. Find a little rock and roll, keeping that gaze down at your navel. Rolling back in your own time. See if you can hold that balance. Maybe lifting the gaze and then crossing the feet over. Roll over the knees and find your way into a wide legged child's pose. So knees are going to be as wide as the mat or as wide as is comfortable for you. And then you're going to sink the hips back. You're going to keep the arms out long, coming up onto the fingertips, finding length through our spine so our shoulders are drawing down the spine here. Keeping our belly engaged, so often it kind of collapses down like this. We want to draw that belly button in. So we've got a nice straight diagonal line from the crown of the head all the way to the base of the spine, and that way we're protecting that low back here. Inhale in here, and then exhale and walk the hands over to the right hand side. Find a nice stretch through the right side body. Inhale in and walk the hands back through center. And exhale all the way over to the left. Breathe into the left side, the right side body, sorry. Keeping that length as the chest is still lifted. And exhale, hands come back into center. Find that lift again. And then melt down. Maybe come onto the forearms. And bring the forehead to the mat. Just holding here in the child's pose, this pose of surrender. Sending the hips back and staying long through the spine. Just feeling to this soft mid-back stretch. Inhale in, come up onto the palms. Maybe you need to walk the hands back so they're underneath the shoulders. We're going to keep the legs wide here as we come through a cat-cow variation. So finding that straight back position, pressing into the tops of the feet. You'll inhale in, drop the chest, the belly down, lift the chest, shoulders come away from the ears. Coming up into our cow pose. Exhale, chin to chest, navel to spine, squeeze everything in and up. Inhale, roll through to cow. Exhale, chin to chest. So really feeling into the movement of our upper back here. So really imagining your chest pushing forward as you come into your cow. Opening here, tucking the elbows in. And then exhaling, drawing that heart space in and up. Rounding through the upper spine. You're not a cat. One more time, opening into cow. And exhale, chin to chest, come into cat. Inhale, come back to neutral. Walk the knees in. And curl the toes under, shift the body back. Come into our first downward facing dog. So take what you need to here, maybe shifting from side to side, maybe walking the feet out, bending one knee and then the other. And come into stillness, this sense of grounding. Bending the knees as much as you need to here. Just shake the head. Yes and no. Just release any last moments of tension so that you can fully come into stillness in your downward facing dog. Ground into the left foot. As you inhale, sweep the right leg all the way high. Maybe you want to bend that right knee just to open through the hips a little more. Keep the hips stacked here. One more inhale and then exhale. Draw the right knee in all the way in towards your chest. And then place the right foot down, coming into your low lunge. You can stay here just creating length through the upper body as you imagine your chest reaching forwards. Or take a breath in, ground through that left foot, and inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, coming up into a crescent lunge, drawing the right hip back and pushing the left hip forward. And just curling those ribs in. So we're not flaring out, we're not pushing forwards and sacrificing our lower back, but drawing everything in and staying lifted. And then bringing the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers and draw the palms together. Squeeze the elbows in, squeeze the shoulders together, and then reach through the chest, draw the arms down towards the mat, open up through the chest, maybe the gaze lift towards the ceiling. Inhale and release, find that crescent lunge again, and then exhale, plant the palms down onto the mat. Now if you have wild thing in your practice, you can come through that, or we'll take a variation together. Plant the palms, curl under the toes of the left foot. Power up through the left leg. Inhale in, engaging your core. Tuck the right knee in. Send the leg all the way up into our three-legged dog. Find that bend through the right knee again. Take a breath and then just start to open the right hip up. You can stay here, or maybe you want to drop the right foot down, coming down to the earth, opening up into Wild Thing. So reaching the right arm off, opening through the chest. So imagine that your chest is being pulled up towards the ceiling. Hips are lifting, we're grounding through the left palm. Inhale in here, and then exhale, bring the right arm back onto the mat. Pivot on the left foot, keeping the right leg lifted, 3-leg dog, and then exhale, drop the right foot down. Find your downward facing dog and just shake it out as much as you need to there. Inhale in, we'll roll through into a high plank, sending the heels back, keeping nice and long through the spine. Holding here, and then inhale, shift the weight forward, lower onto the knees, lower slowly the chest down to the earth. See how slow you can go here. Uncurl the toes of the feet. Inhale in, lift up into your cobra. Palms pressing into the earth, drawing that navel in. If there's any tension in your low back, come lower. Imagine your chest reaching forwards, drawing those shoulders in. So we're going to hold here for 2 breaths. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Find length through the neck and spine. And then exhale, melt the chest down. Curl into the feet. Push up through a plank. And exhale, come into your downward facing dog. Take a little movement here if you need to. Drawing chest towards thighs. Inhale in, we'll sweep the left leg all the way up high. Find lift and length here. And then as you exhale, bend that left knee in, draw it into center, and then plant the left foot down, lower onto the right leg, stay here, stay lifted, or maybe lift up through your crescent lunge. Find that length as you draw the ribs in. And inhale, release the arms down at the sides, interlace the hands behind the back. Draw the palms together, hands draw away from the upper body. Elbows squeeze in, shoulders squeeze in as you open through the chest. Keeping that core engagement so we're not flaring through the ribs. Core's really working here as you open up through the chest, maybe lifting the gaze. Focusing in on that breath. Inhale and sweep the arms up, and exhale, plant the palms. Curl onto the toes of the right foot and power up through that right leg, grounding into the palms, and then shifting that left leg back, lifting it all the way up towards the sky, and then bending the left knee in, open through the hip, and stay here, keeping the shoulders even, opening through that left hip. Or maybe you want to draw that left foot down onto the earth, come up off of the left hand. Inhale in, reach it back behind you, find your Wild Thing, lifting through the hips, opening through the chest and allowing your neck to drop. Grounding through the right palm. One more breath here. And then bring the left palm back onto the mat, pivot on that right foot, keeping the left leg high, come into your three-leg dog, and then exhale, drop the left leg down, downward facing dog. Take a breath here, and as you exhale, release through the mouth. One more inhale here, and exhale through the mouth. Inhale, shift through, find that plank, that strength as you send the heels back. And you can either do a full chaturanga lower, or you can lower onto the knees, shifting the weight forward, drawing the elbows in, and then as slow as you can go, bring yourself down onto the belly. We're going to bring our elbows underneath the shoulders and lifting up into our Sphinx pose. So our hips, our pelvis is going to be pressing into the earth, feet are pressing in, but really still being energetic through the whole body. We're really engaged here, so we're not just pressing the elbows down and lifting through the chest, we're also working in the low body, so the glutes and the quads should be engaged just a little bit. And then bringing your focus into the upper body. So you're keeping that navel drawing up and in towards the ribs, towards the spine, opening up through the chest and drawing the shoulders together. And then with the hands, you want to imagine them pushing the earth away from you. So you've got this kind of push and pull, lifting through the chest, but drawing the hands away. You start to feel some opening through the chest as you lift here. Your gaze just out in front of you. You're going to walk your left hand in towards the center line and bend the right knee in. You can stay here, or maybe you want to reach the right hand all the way back behind you and draw that right foot in towards the glute. Open through the chest here, but keep the hips level. So you want to keep both hip bones down on the earth. So not only opening through the chest here, but opening through the quad. Maybe pivoting your chest open towards the right side, coming into a little twist. The gaze comes back towards the foot. Release that foot slowly back down to the mat. Draw the right arm in. Find Sphinx again, lifting through the chest. Imagine your shoulders drawing down here. And then the right hand will come into the center line. We'll bend that left knee in. Maybe you want to open out here. Find that little twisty chest opener. Drawing the hips down and level and opening through the left side of the chest. And maybe bringing the gaze back towards the foot. So still lifting through the chest here. And then exhale, slowly unravel. Find Sphinx again, one last time, lifting the chest, grounding through the hips, finding space here as you push the chest forwards. And then exhale, release, bring the hands together, make a little pillow for the top of for the forehead. Maybe shake out through those hips again. Feel the space in the spine. And bringing hands underneath the shoulders. We'll curl the bottom back, coming into a tabletop, and briefly shift back into a child's pose. And then curl the toes under, Send the bottom high. Downward facing dog. From here, we're just going to take a slow walk in towards the top of the mat. So feet will come by the hands, we'll meet in a forward fold. Take it in your own way and in your own time. And I really encourage you to bend the knees here in this forward fold today. Inhale in and find some length through the spine, and then exhale, melt into your forward fold. Allow gravity to work in your favour here as you release the neck. Maybe you want to shake it out a little bit. Palms are heavy, the upper body is heavy. Maybe you can feel the rise and fall of your belly as you breathe in and out. Allow it to grace your thighs. In your next inhale, sweep the arms back behind you, interlace the hands and draw the palms together. Extend the fingertips up towards the sky and maybe straighten through the legs a little here. Just open through the chest. So again, your neck and head are nice and soft here. There's no tension. Just opening through the shoulders. Bend the knees here and sink the bottom back. Keep the palms interlaced. As you start to lift up through the chest, coming into a chair variation. So we're still opening through the shoulders, tucking the tailbone under, sending the hips back. Gaze lifts here. And if you want to test your balance, maybe come up onto the tiptoes. Sink the bottom down a little bit further, keeping that core engagement. And exhale, release the heels, release the palms, lift up all the way into Tadasana. Bring the hands through your heart center and release them down at your sides. Mountain pose. Arrive here. So from our Tadasana, we're going to move through a little mudra flow. So we're going to be working with our lotus mudra today. And the lotus is a really good visual symbolization of the heart chakra. So how the lotus moves through all this dirt and muck and murky water, and it rises into something beautiful, and regardless of what it's moved through, it opens out and it accepts the light in, and it comes into this magnificent, beautiful flower. And we can imagine our heart chakra like the lotus flower, opening up and accepting the light in. So we're going to draw our palms, the base of our palms together here, and our pinky fingers are going to come to touch, thumbs are going to touch, and the rest of the fingers are going to open out. So you've got what looks like a lotus flower here. Drawing that in at your heart center and taking a soft bend in the knees and just feeling into this visual representation. I'm going to walk us through a really simple upper body flow here. So you can close down the eyes once you've got it. Maybe that will help you come into this visualization. But really imagining the mudra here as a representation of your love and your compassion and your worth, and just feeling it open out and accepting the love in. So taking a soft bend in the knees, we'll inhale in and rise that lotus up. Exhale, open out, draw the elbows in line with the shoulders, come into cactus arms, opening through the chest and drawing the shoulder blades together. Exhale here, and then inhale, find your mudra at your heart center. Exhale, inhale, send the lotus up. Exhale, open out, find space in the chest. Inhale, draw into heart center. Exhale, release. A few more times on our own. We'll inhale, lift the lotus up, lift that love up. Exhale, open out, create space. Inhale, draw it back into your heart center. Exhale, release. Inhale, send the lotus up, maybe closing the eyes here. Exhale, opening out. Inhale, draw it back in, bring that love in. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, open out. Inhale, draw it in. Exhale, arrive. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, open out and hold here. Feel that space being created. Draw the shoulders together. And then inhale, draw the palms together. Close down the eyes if they weren't closed. And just feel the power of your love at your heart center. Imagine the lotus being created through your palms, filling up with love. And then one last time with this lotus full of love, you're going to send it up towards the heavens as you inhale in. Exhale, open it out wide, release it. Release that mudra now and spread the fingertips really wide, opening out, cactus arms. And then inhale, draw the palms together in Anjali Mudra at your heart center. Thumbs come to sternum as you lift. And then exhale, take a deep releasing breath through the mouth. Inhale in, lift the palms to the heavens again. And then exhale, just melt the chest down, come into that forward fold. Inhale in and find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the palms, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, come into your plank pose. Inhale in, shift the knees forward and drop them down onto the mat, and then send the hips back, come into your child's pose. Take a breath here, and then we're just going to uncurl through the spine. Lift up onto the knees. And we're going to work into a little bit of camel practice here. So you can keep the knees together, the legs together, or you can send them out a little bit wider. So they're just about hip width. Really, it's what works for you, so maybe experiment around a little bit. We're going to do a few camel practices. So we'll lift the hips up, coming onto the knees. And really protecting that low back, so drawing your belly button in and imagine pushing your hips forward. Bring your hands onto your low back and squeeze the elbows together. We're all going to start here. What we're going to do is just imagine sending the hips forward, lifting through the chest. Maybe your head comes back as you open through the chest. As you inhale in, lift the gaze, and then use your core to lift all the way back up into a kneeling position. If that's your first time trying camel, stay with the modified version for this next round, or if you want to open out, you can bring the hands onto the heels. So as you inhale in, lift the gaze, lift the chest, and then send those hips forwards. Maybe open out, hands coming onto the tops of the heels. Lifting the chest, sending the head back. And then to unravel here, if you've had the hands lowered, bring them back onto the sacrum, engage the core, and then lift all the way up into a kneeling position. We're going to send the bottom back, melt down into our forward fold. Just briefly releasing that low back. So when we've opened out through a deep back bend there, it's really nice just to come into a forward fold and find the length again through the spine. So just allow the hips to be heavy, head nice and long, and just feel into this posture. And then tucking the chin in, we're going to lift into kneeling again. And we're going to come into a straddle pose. So, what you want to do here is bring the feet to the outside edges of the bum. So the knees are coming in together. You can have a little bit of space between the thighs, and then your feet will be at level with your bum. And then what we just want to do is start to walk the upper body back, and maybe this is a little bit much for you, so you just want to stay high. And if you're staying here, we're keeping lifted through the chest. Or maybe you want to come down onto the forearms. Again, keeping that lift in the chest. Or if you want to take it one step further, bringing the back all the way down onto the mat. And be careful here. If it's too much through you, through the hips, through the knees, stay lifted. And if it's way too much for you to sit comfortably like this in the straddle, come out and bring the feet together. You can find a modified cobbler's pose. So we're opening through the chest here and through the hips. And just allow your whole body to soften and feel into this posture, this space. Maybe you want to close down the eyes. We're going to stay here for just a few breaths. Notice where the mind has started to wander, and see if you can just draw it back into this sense of stillness, so focusing on the breath. Slowly start to unravel and come up. If you've come into the full expression, come up onto the forearms first, and then just slowly lift your way up. There's no real graceful way to come out of this posture, but what I want you to do is come out slowly. It's a deep stretch. So we just release one leg out in front of us. Take what you need here. Maybe you need to lengthen the legs out long. And then maybe come into a forward fold, or take any counter posture that works for you. Find length if you're coming into the forward fold, and then melt the chest towards the thighs. Find that length through the spine, and then what we're going to do with this forward fold is arch the back, so we'll tuck our chin in towards our chest, round the spine. So again, we're just counteracting all those back bends that we've done today. Allowing the forehead to be heavy. Notice as you stay here and focus on the breath how you can find length through the spine. And then tuck your chin in towards your chest and just roll back up into a seated position. We're going to draw the knees in. Find that balance that we had earlier in our boat. So keeping or lifting the legs, but we're going to keep them tucked in this time. So usually we'd open them up and come into a full boat. We're not going there today. We're keeping them tucked in, but we're still lifting through the upper body, and then drawing your navel in. And imagine curling your low back under, so your hips are curling under, and then send the weight back. I'm going to rock again and see if you can lift up, find a balance, and then roll back down. Again, if this doesn't work for you, we will end laying on the mat. So if you want to just take your way down, otherwise finding that roll. Maybe coming into a balance for the last one. And then exhale slow as you can. Open everything out through a boat. I said we weren't going there, but we did. And then exhale, release onto the mat. Bring one knee in and then the other. And if you've travelled along your mat, maybe shift your way down. Always end up at that end. So we're walking the feet in, and you want your feet and your knees to be in line with your hips. And we're going to come into a bridge pose. So bringing your hands down by the sides, and see if you can just graze the back of your heel with your middle finger. Pressing the palms into the earth and tucking that tailbone under so that your core's really engaged. Maybe opening the shoulders out so they're really firmly underneath you, grounding into the mat. Chest is lifted here. And when we come into bridge, so often we kind of clench the chin in, or we send it all the way back. What I want you to do is imagine your head being in a straight line. So maybe pick the head up and draw it back down, tuck the chin in slightly. So now that we've got a really firm foundation, press the palms into the earth, and from your belly button, curling the hips under, start to lift them all the way up to the sky. So you can keep your palms pressing into the mat here, or maybe you want to interlace the fingers and open through the chest a little bit more by drawing the shoulder blades under. And just notice what's happened with your neck. Is it drawing in or is it opening out? See if you can keep it in a straight line as you press the hips further towards the ceiling, opening through the chest and drawing the knees together, engaging through the glutes. So the knees shouldn't be touching together, they're just energetically working, so we're firing up through those inner thighs. And just holding here, keeping that lift. Opening through the chest. Maybe you want to close the eyes and
And just feel into that space being created. Feel into the rise and fall of your chest. Two more breaths. Exhale, release the palms back down onto the mat if they weren't there. And then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, uncurl the spine. Your low back should be the last part of you to meet the earth. And release. Draw the knees in, give yourself a nice big hug again. Maybe rocking from side to side. And then extend the arms out wide into cactus. So that's bending at the elbows. And just allow the knees to melt over towards the right side, opening through the left. So your left shoulder should be down on the mat. And then maybe your gaze goes over towards the left side. So it's so important in our heart opening or back bending flows, or in any flow really, to take these counter postures of twists and folds, just to create that full body mobility and allow the body to respond to the energetic openings through the chest, and just allow this space being created through the left side body. So we're really working here, although we've been focusing on our chest, we're just feeling into the other areas of our body. Just feeling into that space being created through the left side. And then engaging through the core, lifting the knees in through center. And exhale, allow them to drop out to the right side. Right shoulder presses down into the mat. Maybe your gaze just falls over towards the right side. Just allow your body to start to relax and to melt into the mat here. And draw the knees back into center. Give yourself one last big hug. Bring your nose towards knee. And then releasing the head and neck back down to the mat. We're going to finish where we started, bringing the feet to the outside edges of the mat and allowing the knees to drop in, pressing the low back into the earth, and then bringing the right hand to the belly, left hand to the chest. Pick up the head and find that length through the spine. Maybe you walk the shoulders underneath you and just allow your whole body to feel supported here and relaxed. So from this position of deep relaxation, your body laying softly on the mat, feel into the warmth and the sense of touch at your heart center, where your hand meets the chest. Feel the rise and fall of your chest with your breath, and just for a moment consider how this feels. Notice the difference in your breath, in your chest, since the start of our flow. And then feeling this connection of palm to heart. We're going to come into a visualization and affirmation practice to close off today's session. So bringing to your mind's eye a beautiful pink lotus flower. A lotus flower that has risen through darkness and turmoil and has come into the light, has opened its petals and is nestled on a beautiful still pond surrounded by vibrant green lily pads. See this lotus as a representation of your heart chakra. And just notice what comes up here. Notice the size of your lotus. Allow it to take up space in the pond. Allow it to open its petals out to the sky. Opening your heart to love. And we're going to repeat the affirmation all together. You can either say it aloud or you can just say it softly to yourself, keeping the visualization of the lotus and repeating, I accept love and I give love. I accept love and I give love. I accept love and I give love. Sitting with that mantra for just a few more breaths. Opening your heart, your lotus, to love. And we're going to end our session here. So please stay here as long as you like, breathing and being softly on the mat, and just feel into this sense of being surrounded by love and allowing yourself to accept it in. From my heart to yours, Namaste.